Okay, we're going to get started with our pre-game media availability with Natisha Heidemann and Rebecca Allen. I'm going to take questions from the room first and then go on Zoom.
Natisha, there's been some talk about your flexibility in general, the ability to play the one, but also the two. How do you kind of see that playing out, and what are your thoughts as your role might vary a little bit?
Yeah, I've always been able to play the one and the two, primarily been playing the point guard, but super excited to have Ty on the team as well to allow me to play the two. And our team, I think, our team really with all the guards is really positionless, and then adding AT to the mix, she can dribble the ball up, so really I don't even feel like a point guard half the time anyway, so.
Beck, for those who aren't around you guys regularly, what's this transition been like for you, and how much does the veteran experience person next to you help in all of that transition?
Oh, she helps a lot. No, it's a lot easier when you come into a group and they do have that core, and so you're just trying to find that bit where you fit into it as well while still being yourself. So I think that that's like a big thing for me that's made the transition easier, and also the fact that we're all learning new plays. We're similar team with new pieces, but with new coaching staff as well. That's helped with the transition.
For either one of you, I was curious just with Steph, kind of what you're getting at. What has kind of been your takeaways from what she and Bree and the rest of the coaching staff are trying to implement in this first month?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely wanting to make sure that we assert ourselves in these first early games. That's going to be a really big point for us, but also to be a fast team, a team that moves the ball. It's got that 0.5 sort of second reaction time. So I think that's a big part of what we're trying to showcase.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Have you heard a lot from Bree in terms of defense? That's what she was certainly known for. Has she really made that point clear?
Yeah, I would say Bree is definitely like the head of the defense, and giving us all the emphasis and points. And when we watch film and break it down, we're watching film with Bree. So she obviously has been an elite defender her whole career. So just having her on staff is amazing on both sides of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, taking questions from Zoom. Jacqueline, go ahead.
Hey guys, thanks for your time today. This is for either of you. I know camp is real short, but how do you think the offensive chemistry has kind of evolved since the start of training camp to now?
I think the chemistry is getting better day by day. Obviously, as we said, we have a new coaching staff, new players joining the team. So just being able to practice every day and just continue to gel and get better, I think that we're definitely in an upward trajectory, and we're just going to keep getting better and better and getting, learning each other and having everything figured out.
And then for either of you, just what do you think will surprise people about this team this season?
I guess even how they've spoken is sometimes seen as the underdogs. I think it's, again, just to step up and just showcase who we are and make sure that everyone in the league just notices us from the very start of this season. So I think that's just going to be a big thing for all of us. We take that personally, and it's also how we, started training camp was on that note that, we're going to start off by showing off our physicality, especially defensively, and that's something that's intimidating for teams.
Great. Thank you so much.
Tiffany, go ahead.
She says no.
Oh, okay. Any questions from the room again? Any of you have any questions?
Brilliant.
Okay.
Thank you.
Brilliant, mate.
Got it. She says no.
That's it?
Well, we're probably getting Stephanie now. I would imagine.
Sorry, we didn't hear that you were asking us about questions.
Can they hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry about that. Stephanie's coming in right now, so grab
I
her.
heard you say in the room.
We heard you say in the room. We didn't know you were asking about us.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
There we go. That might make it easier for us.
What did you just change?
Because I didn't know that there were other people on the Zoom to see if like there was someone else talking or if it was just us.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna start with a quick speech from you, Stephanie, and then start with the questions.
First of all, it's just good to be back in Indiana. Good to see a lot of familiar faces. To see people that I've not just grown up with and grown close to, but have been impactful and meaningful in pretty much every stage of my life. So it's nice to be able to come back here and come back with Bree and Austin on staff to come back with my boys and to open up here in Indiana. So excited about that.
Taking questions from the room?
You connected with Lynn yet today?
I saw Lynn earlier. Yep, gave her a big hug. Of course, everybody just can't believe how big the boys are. So certainly fun for them to see them for the first time in a while. But yeah, saw Lynn a little bit earlier.
What memories come to mind when you first interviewed?
Geez, well, of course, the birth of the boys. Landon was born Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 2011. Avery and Aiden were born when I was on the road. We were on a road trip at Tulsa before All-Star break in 2013. So those are the top two memories. And then winning the championship. I mean, being a part of a franchise from its inaugural season as a player to the first championship as a coach, to celebrating on the practice gym. All those memories just come flooding back.
Obviously, there's been a push to get more players on coaching staffs. Can you talk a little bit about bringing Bree on, but then also the opportunity that Karima has?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, I think, for us in this league, we want to continue to get former players invested. And fortunately for those two and for Abby, who's on our staff as well, those are in coaching roles. And as a coach, you always see players who you think, oh, they would make really good coaches. And you have conversations about it along the way. In Bree's case, I've been trying to hire her for a long time. Finally she retired, so I was able to do that. But you always kind of have an eye on players that you think, hey, they'd be really good coaches, or they'd be really good in the front office, or whatever it might be. And for us now to, I think, have an opportunity, the league has been around long enough to have an opportunity to really invest in former players on the basketball side is awesome. We take a lot of pride in that, certainly in Connecticut, and I know here in Indiana as well. And my hope is that we continue to see former players in front office, in management, in ownership, and hopefully one day a commissioner.
As you take this new opportunity, how helpful has it been to have numerous veteran leaders on the team that you're taking over?
It's been huge. And, I think anybody, who's been a part of the coaching world understands how important veteran leadership, peer leadership, experience is. You're not having to say things multiple times. You're not having to go through things multiple times. They just get it. They know it. They come every day as a super competitive group, ready to get after it. They set the tone every day and what we want to do and how we want to do it. So it's definitely been a blessing.
How's the league changed since you left, and what do you think the experience of coaching college ball, going there and coming back?
The league's changed a lot. I think more than anything, we continue to see the trend of players are better. They're bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic, more versatile than they've ever been. The game is faster paced. The game is more wide open. It was starting to open up at that time. It's more wide open. Pace is better. Efficiency is better. We have a lot more information. In terms of analytics and understanding, and so the game is different. For me, I think the biggest thing is from going back to college and coming back to the W. Number one, an appreciation for working with pros and what they bring every day. The fact that this is your job and the way that they approach every single day. But I think number two, on the floor, every year that you get experience, but especially going back into college and coming back, it's communication. How you communicate, not just what you're communicating, but making sure it's effective, making sure it's clear, making sure it's direct and everybody's on the same page. Watching different teams, watching different coaches, and try to take bits and pieces from them that can create an advantage on the floor for us. And overall for me, I'm just appreciative of the opportunity to be back.
What's it mean to have them at an age where they can kind of understand what you're doing now rather than just being around?
Yeah, it means a lot. It's funny because they were so young, when we left here, and I think just starting to grasp, what I did, being a coach, and now to come back and to, watch our team and to see Karima and to see Austin, out there, and I think they didn't quite realize that they were on opposing benches until we got up here. And Bree, and just players that they've watched, that they've heard me talk about, running to catch, seeing Sylvia Fowles. I mean, all these different players, and being able to hopefully appreciate, number one, the experiences that they get. But number two, I think it's important to set a good example for them. And, you have to work really hard at the things that you want to accomplish. And for them to be able to be around me doing what I love, be around strong women and understand how important it is to continue to support women's sports, continue to show our athletes, show them and lead by example, and in how you have to compete and approach your job and the things that you love every single day. So, they get immersed in it, and I'm thankful for that.
All right, we're going to take questions from on Zoom. Brendan, Tarika, any questions?
Yeah, Coach. When you talk about all the fond memories and things that you have about being back in Indiana, how difficult does that make it for you now? Trying to tell your team, trying to coach your team, putting the memories and the feelings aside to know that, we still got a job to do. We still have to, be competitive. How do you balance that?
I think it's just the competitor in you. I mean, it's the same way that players balance, some of their best friends are on opposing teams, right? I spent, 5 or 6 seasons in the Chicago Sky, on the Chicago Sky team coming here as an assistant coach when I played here. So having playing memories and coming back as an opponent, and then now having coaching memories and coming back as an opponent. So it's nice that from an emotional standpoint to see all the familiar faces, to say our hellos, but certainly, once it's time to get into the locker room, to talk about the game plan, to make sure we're on the same page. And once the ball goes up, it's a basketball game and we want to win. We're all incredibly competitive, and we are all out here for one reason, and that's to win basketball games. And then when the buzzer sounds, we can go back to hugging each other and loving on each other and all of those things. But, I think it's just, we've had so much experience in our sporting lives of turning that on and off, that I think it'll be fine once we turn that page.
Curious to know what your defensive game plan is against such a fast, the speed and agility of a Kelsey Mitchell and an Erica Wheeler. We know Kelsey likes to pull up, spot, shoot very quickly. What's the game plan against, trying to slow her down, if that's the thing?
We just have to try to make it as difficult as possible. We've got to give her different looks. We've got to give her not just multiple looks, but multiple people on her. We've got to try to make sure that we're forcing her to make tough shots. We got to minimize the wide open ones, the easy ones to the rim, the opportunities at the foul line, and we just have to try to make life difficult. Same thing for Erica Wheeler. I mean, they're 2 experienced guards, so we have to bring different looks to them, and we have to try to keep them off balance, and we have to try to make sure that they don't quite know what's coming. And you know what? When they're going to hit tough shots and make tough plays, we got to live with that.
Stephanie, you had mentioned a few times after preseason games that you're still trying to figure out how you want to establish rotations. Do you feel like you're in a better place? I know you still have to play a real game, like an actual game, but do you feel like you're in a better place now after the last couple of preseason games?
I think we have a better idea of what we'd like it to look like. Certainly in preseason games, while you're still evaluating and players are playing for a limited amount of times, it makes it a little tougher to get an analytics look at it. So I feel more comfortable in what I would like to see. But until we get some hard data and get some true looks at what we get coming off the bench and who plays well together for longer periods of time throughout the course of, not just one game, but multiple games, I don't think I'll feel good about it. But I do feel better.
When you get ready for a team as young as Indiana, I know Tarika just asked about a couple of veteran players, but when you're getting ready for a team like this, you're looking more at college tape? Are you looking at the preseason limited sample size? How do you get ready for such a young team?
You have to look at both. You have to look at both because, as college players, you are certainly exposed to what they're best at, what they're most comfortable in. Certainly when you're looking at individual tendencies and player personnel, you have to look at that. And then you have to watch, how are they adjusting to physicality, speed of the game? How are they adjusting to absorbing information? Because there is so much thrown at you in 2 weeks of training camp, probably as much as there is in first semester of college. And you have to be able to absorb that. You have to be able to go out and execute that. Where are they fitting in the actions? offensively, where are they finding themselves in the defensive end of the floor? Where can we find an advantage? So we're looking at all of those things. I mean, the great thing if you're coaching a young team is they don't know what they don't know, right? They don't have fear. They just go out and they just play. And the good thing for us as a veteran team is that, we understand what this league is about. We understand that we have to respect everyone. We understand that we have to use our savvy and our experience to our advantage.
Jacqueline, do you have a question?
Yeah, hey coach. Kind of jumping off of Brendan's question about your rotations, just early in the season, how do you kind of approach trying out those different lineups? Going deep into your bench or trying a little more liberal lineups, or kind of just like what is your approach to just the beginning of the season and kind of seeing what works and what doesn't?
Yeah, I kind of have a penciled in version of how I'd like to script things out. But obviously that changes in the flow of the game. It changes by opponent. We'll see early. In this game in particular, we'll have a couple of subs that, a guard sub that might be our first guard off the bench, a post sub might be our first post off the bench, and we'll go a few possessions or a few minutes and we'll see, hey, do we like this combination? Do we not like that combination? We saw some in our exhibition. Hey, I don't like these two playing out there together. Maybe we need to manipulate that a little bit more. Whether it's we need more rebounding and we're not getting enough rebounding. Defensively, it doesn't give us enough versatility. We're not spacing the floor enough offensively. So it will continue to be a work in progress. Some of it's going to be going off of our gut instinct early. Some of it's going to be trying to play people who complement one another. And then at the end of the day, we have to find the best and most consistent defensive lineup for us at multiple points in the game and offensive lineup for us at multiple points in the game. And we're not going to get that in game one. We're probably not going to get that in the month of May, but we certainly want to work towards shoring that up a little bit more.
And what do you expect Alyssa's role to look like tonight?
I don't expect her role to be any different than what it's continued to be for this franchise. She is going to set the tone for us on the defensive end of the floor. She's going to be an outstanding rebounder and push the ball in transition. She's going to be a point forward for us and initiate offense. I expect that we're going to move her around a little bit more on the offensive end of the floor. She's going to have the ball in her hands. She's going to be screening off the ball as opposed to being a little more stagnant and reacting to what's happening. We're going to use her as a playmaker.
And can you share the starting lineup that you're going with tonight?
Yeah, I can. We're going to go with Natisha, Tiffany, DB, AT, and Breezy.
Cool. Thanks so much for your time, Coach. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Tiffany, did you have a question? Okay. And that concludes this press conference. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.